Ahava blessings. Hello to all of you and welcome. I see a lot of hello. Look, I see so many familiar faces. Wow. It's so lovely to see all of you. Hello, beautiful Paiviki. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad you could connect right now. And I see a lot of beautiful, beautiful faces that I know very well. So that's wonderful. So, wow, today we're going to do something a little bit wild, okay? It's just I really wanted to gather to talk about this because it's so important, and I think it's so important for our awakening and everything that's happening now in our planet. So I prepared this little workshop, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And it's also a way of taking time to connect and build our community. Last Friday we had a beautiful Shabbat that I did with Krishna Rose, and then I think that today I think you will find a little bit of insight on how to start working with circular time because it's very important. It's part of the codes that we need to learn how to activate. And Adriana says hello, hola Adriana, and we've got more people coming in. So since it's not a ceremony, I am still going to open up sacred space because I think it's very important, because I will be talking about Mary Magdalene and her lineage and Saratamar and Mother Anna and Yeshua a little bit. So I just want to take a moment to honor their presence, because when we call their names, they come, they immediately come. And I know that all of you are very connected with these light beings as your guides, as teachers. So it's just a way of paying respect to them as well, because they do come and they bring us beautiful messages. So again, thank you for being here. So let's just put our hands on our heart center. We're going to put the right hand on top of the left hand, and I always like to cover my head when I create any type of sacred space, just so that I can contain the energy, and also as a sign of humility, of being humble. um it's such a womb energy, isn't it, when we cover our bodies and we start to feel warm and contained, and we feel a certain type of embrace. And I see a lot of my Spanish community that are being very, very courageous to listen to this in English. So well done. I've done this in Spanish a lot, this little workshop. So now we need to do it in English. So let's just take some time to, wait, let me get more people are coming in. And just remember, don't be shy. If you need to ask any questions or if you want to reflect on something, please do. And we're just going to put our hands on our heart center. Long, deep breathing. Closing our eyes, and we're going to bring our breath into our womb space. Bring the breath down so that we can feel a connection of our bodies with the earth. And we're going to start to make our breath a lot slower. And when we start to do this, we understand that the connection of the breath is a connection with the Holy Spirit, the Shekhinah. We start to become aware that spirit is infused in everything that we do, and every action that we take, every idea, every word, every experience. So let's just take this opportunity to invite the spirit within our body temples. And as the breath starts to slow down, we can feel our heartbeat slowing down. We can feel our nervous system slowing down and opening up so that we can receive the messages that we need to receive. And we're just going to call upon the elements, asking Earth to teach us how to be grateful and generous, asking water how to teach us how to love and connect with the divine feminine. We ask fire to teach us awareness, transmutation, and the connection with the divine masculine. And we ask air to purify our thoughts, our words, our actions. We ask spirit to help us connect with the Mother Father, that our connection be infinite, strong, and loving. And in this space, I do want to call upon Mary Magdalene as vibration, as goddess, as light being, as teacher, as Kala Messiah, feminine bride, feminine Christ. I want to call upon Yeshua and all of the light beings that are part of the spiral, the Rosa Mystica. I want to call upon the Shekhinah and ask her to bless us, to fill us with her inspiration. And we call upon the zodiacal archetypes to accompany us to understanding our solar journey here on Earth. And now just take a moment by bringing your hands together to make an intention. Ask yourself why you're here. What is your intention? What do you feel that you need to receive, the message that you need to receive so that you can be guided? And I as well. And let us all just say the word Amen out loud. Amen, Amen means that I seal this in the earth, in the ground, and seal your intention. Amen. That felt really good, didn't it? Thank you. And we will be chanting at the end. You're not getting away with chanting with me. So again, welcome all of you. And if you can just let me know where you're coming from, what part of the world, country, continent, what city you're in. I know that some of you are in the US, Finland, Spain, Mexico, just so that we can all see, look, Italy, um, Colombia, Cádiz, Spain, Canada. Wow, you see? So many beautiful places, Pennsylvania. So we're from all over the world and we're here together. Murcia. Amazing. Finland, northern Finland. Very cold, right, Pavike? It's snowing, right? Is it snowing? In Mexico again. Okay, so you see, we have this international community, international circle. So I want to talk about the solar journey and connecting the solar journey with the zodiacal wheel. And the zodiacal wheel is actually they're the archetypes of the zodiac that we know very well, right? We all know Aries, Taurus, Gemini. We know what sign we are, and maybe this could have been some type of fantasy in the past or when we were growing up or wanting to explore this, but now as we move into this new age, the Aquarian age, this is the Aquarian language and it's part of the Aquarian teachings. When I do my teachings with when I deliver my teachings of Mary Magdalene, I always connect these teachings with the moment that we are in, according to the astrological cosmic dance. But I do want to make this little workshop easier. And the important thing is that I want all of you to take something today. I feel that there's a message, a very, very important message for all of you, and with this gathering. And this is what I'm looking forward to. I really want you to take a message with this. So we know that in a lot of the I'm going to use the word pagan, even though pagan means comes from the word paganis in Latin, which means of the earth. So pagan isn't a bad name, and I know that in a lot of the Catholic religions, when we say, "Oh, he's pagan," yeah, we start to well, that's what they taught us, of course, to get scared. But pagan just means an earth-based spirituality. So a lot of the pagan spiritualities are based in honoring the cycles of the earth and all of the festivities. In, for example, in Mary Magdalene's lineage, the Gnostic lineages, we would honor the cycles of the equinoxes and the solstices, and these are four important cycles that we honor. They're very important. They also create the cross on earth. So they're portals, they're openings. And but then the Celts and other pagan or earth-based spiritualities do work with the wheel of the year, and that's been quite some very powerful work that we've been doing, and especially from the 1960s, 1970s, when all of this started to become very important, especially for these pagan traditions. And I think that that has helped us to get to where we are now. And then all of a sudden, a few years back, the moon cycles, we started to go back to the cycles of the moon, didn't we? Even though I know a lot of us have been doing this for a very long time, um, we would automatically see on Facebook and social media everything about the new moon, the full moon, the new moon, the full moon, right? I mean, it's everywhere. And the moon is another wheel. The we have the earth wheel, which is this pagan tradition, druid tradition to connect with the earth, and the wheel of water is the lunar wheel. And when we work with the moon, we work with water. We work with the water energy, and we activate this energy within us. And we work with the soul. We work with our emotions. So anytime we work with the moon, you're actually working with your soul, and not just our individual soul, but the soul of humanity. And this is why these moon ceremonies are so important now, because we're going through a big healing and a big awakening. We're actually dying and as a humanity and resurrecting as a humanity. And to be able to do this, we need to really connect with the soul and understand the soul, and understand that everything comes from the soul, not the other way. It's not first connect with my body and then I go into my soul, which is what we have learned in these patriarchal based religions. Um, so, and then we move into like the fire element. And the fire element is connected with the days of the week, and it's also a wheel. And this is the more linear time. And when we want to work with linear time, we know that we work with fire. Fire is a masculine energy, and fire is connected also with the mind. And so when we work with the days of the week, and each day of the week is connected to a planet, we're also working with an element. But then we have the air element, and that's what we're going into, not just because of this Aquarian age, but also because for the next 200 years, all of the conjunctions, main conjunctions, will be in air signs. So the air, what does the air deal with? If you've got the earth, which are the cycles, the water, which is the moon, the fire, which are the days of the week, well, the air is the zodiacal wheel. And the zodiacal wheel are the 12 archetypes in astrology. And these are actually portals. And as a humanity, I can just see us starting to work with these portals to activate certain energy and to understand a type of awakening that needs to happen. When we are born, all of these signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, that's the whole zodiacal wheel. Even though you come in with a sun sign, a moon sign, a rising, and so many other things on your chart, these archetypes are activated within us automatically. For example, every 2.5 years of our lives, these archetypes were activated until we were the age of 30. So Aries becomes activated within us between 0 and 2.5 years. And then Taurus would become activated in us between 2.5 and 5 years. So as portals of activation, when we are growing up and receiving all these activations, certain portals aren't activated within us because of the family that we choose, because of our karma, um, because of the experience that we want to bring into the world. So when one of these portals isn't activated within us, it's nothing bad. It's just the experience we chose to heal and to evolve in. So this energy will come back into our life. And there's always an opportunity to heal this energy, not only on the full moon and the new moon, but when we go into that portal. For example, right now we are in the Sagittarius portal, and I know that we have some beautiful Sagittarius people here, like by Vicky, and I don't know who else is Sagittarius, but we are in that portal. And of course, by Vicky, who's a Sag, will carry that energy. That's what she's come to learn to be, a Sagittarius on the mystical level. On the mystical level, that's what she's come to learn to be, which is a teacher, actually, a teacher. And so, but that part of Sagittarius in this portal will be activated within us, especially if we didn't activate this while we were evolving in our humanity, between 0 and 30 years of age. Um, so when we work with the zodiacal wheel, we are on a solar journey. And the solar journey implies, if we really want to go on a solar journey, our our soul, the inner work needs to be done. Okay, all of the inner work needs to be done. I'm going to read this right here about my sudden interest in astrology. I had never been interested before. I didn't understand it, and it all sounded weird to me. But this last semester, I felt the call so strongly. I'm learning now, and I'm starting to see, wow, because you see all of these codes are awakening in us. It's not just one person, two people, or 1,000 people. This is the language of the Aquarian age. Astrology is very important, and these portals are important, like I said, because they're connected with the air element. And this is what we're going to be going into. So anything that is connected with the air element is going to awaken in us. For example, things that are connected with the air element are inspiration. Inspiration, to be inspired, is to be in spirit, which means that we allow spirit to come in. So all of us are going to be more inspired to do things, to learn things, to be with people, to travel, in our wanting to do things. All of this is going to be coming from inspiration. Okay, not because we need to do it or we're told that we have to do it. And sometimes I will mix Spanish and English expressions. Forgive me if you don't understand me, okay? It just happens automatically. Let me read a little bit. I was born December the 6th, the Independence Day of freedom, of Finland, freedom. And 6 is the number of the divine feminine. She's a pregnant lady. She's the Empress in the tarot card, a very important number connected to the Mary energy. And I can see that in Vaiviki. So all of the anything that is connected with the air element is going to be resonating with us, is going to be awakening. And right now we chose to be here, and we'll come back, but right now in your human form, all of us chose to be here, to be in the transition between the ages. We're building that transition. So it's hard at sometimes because we're purifying the Piscean age, wanting to bring in the beautiful Piscean qualities that need to come in. If they don't come into the Aquarian age will go into the shadow. And the beautiful Piscean qualities are dissolving into oneness, dissolving into God and Goddess. And it's beautiful. And bringing back Yeshua, bringing back Mary Magdalene, bringing back the whole lineage, Mother Mary, Mother Anna, Sarah Tamar, all of them need to come back and go into the Aquarian age, because they began the Piscean age. They were the healers of the Piscean age. And now is when they're really resurrecting, and we can feel their energy in the planet. So all of this is connected with the air. And as we go into this Aquarian age, we will start opening up to certain things. I mean, even yesterday it was amazing, and I think I'll burn some now. I went to get some candles, and it was just this shop that I go to that you can buy things for your home. Very beautiful shop, by the way, if you like decorating your home. And there was an oil. It was an oil or a spray, and it was Palo Santo and sage. And I was air burning, okay? And I was quite impressed by seeing Palo Santo and sage in just a normal shop where you go and buy candles and things for your bedroom. That's part of the activation, learning how to breathe in all of these qualities, allowing them to come into the body to heal. And it's more of an energy of believing, not so much in the other dimensions, but in the interdimensions. In the interdimensions is about all of the dimensions working together. Is a difference between if I say, oh, I felt this 5 dimension energy, or this is very 3D. We separate, don't we? Well, we're going into an energy right now where we're working on the interdimension, when all of the dimensions are actually living together and expressing themselves together within us, which is fantastic. It's amazing. A lot of healing can be done, and actually very quickly. And this is important for us because we're going into a whole new paradigm. So when we work, let me just shut this off. If not, I had burning mugwort as well, and that makes me very sleepy. So I don't want to fall asleep with all of you right now. um, so what I was saying before, the solar journey, when we want to go on any type of journey, on a quest, or we want to maybe align with our destiny or open up to our soul path or our mission, there's a lot of solar energy, a lot of energy, king energy involved in that, and it's beautiful. But before we go on a solar journey, we need to go within. We need to work on the soul. We need to work on the soul to be solar, and that's very, very important. So when we go within, and I always think of the tarot card when the major arcana, when we go on the hero's journey and he passes, the fool goes through all of the archetypes to evolve. This is what we need to do. It's very important to look at the zodiacal wheel. Look at it as a wheel, just like the wheel of the year. Right now we're in the northern hemisphere in Samhain, and then we go into Yule, and then we go to Imbolc. Well, to look at the zodiacal wheel just the same and understand that we are actually going into different portals, and the energy, the archetype that is activated wants to teach us something, always. And the things that we didn't learn as we were evolving, like I said, between 0 and 30 years of age, those things will be triggered within us. And this is the soul work. This is about going within and understanding how to work with the zodiacal wheel so that we can actually understand the solar journey. And solar journey is all about evolution. Remember, the solar journey is becoming a better version of ourselves, getting closer to our soul contract, expressing who we really are. And I know that all of you here are going through that. Who is expressing right now the soul? Who wants to express and manifest the soul through the body here? You can say yes. Look, Carolina said yes. A lot of us, right? Look, Melissa as well. A lot of us are going through that right now. Oh, I love seeing all of you. So beautiful. So this is very, very important. So I'm going to talk a little bit about look, Adriana's saying yes as well. I'm going to talk about this solar journey, and I could actually go within each archetype and spend like 3 hours on each archetype, but I'm going to summarize it, because if not, I would have you here the whole afternoon and the whole evening until the next day, because I love working with this. Before I go into that, I just want to talk about Mary Magdalene and her whole lineage, her Christ lineage, as the prophesied Christ right now, and how she is here already. And it's The Piscean age, we had the Christ that was one person, it was Yeshua, and it had to be like that. We needed to learn from him as an example, but we've evolved. And now Mary Magdalene, as the feminine Christ, she's walking amongst all of us, and she is bringing her vibration down inside all of us. So anyone who wants to awaken to her energy, we can just open up and receive her. And her energy is really, really, really fast right now. The way she's manifesting is really, really fast, and we can feel it. We can I mean, Mother Anna, which by Vicky channels her and works with her extensively, and Mother Anna is the the activator of the, how can I say this, the Immaculate Conception. The Immaculate Conception is not only to conceive immaculately without having sex, okay? That's what we think it is. Immaculate Conception is to bring down and express your soul in her purity, in purity. And everything that we bring down on earth, that we manifest, our relationships, our creations, our healing, is with the soul. It's a soul expression. We filter it. It's not karmic anymore. And this is very, very powerful. And Mother Anna actually works in the air and in the ether realm. So when we work with the zodiacal wheel, which is connected with the air element, we're connecting with her as well. We may not know it, but it's part of her teachings up there. And so when I mentioned Mary Magdalene is very connected with the moon, okay, with the cycles of the moon. But when we work with the zodiacal wheel, we work with all of her energy, because her energy is also part of this Christ lineage. And in this Christ lineage, we have Mother Anna, we have Yeshua. Saratamar, for example, is very, very powerful in the whole Aquarian age, because she represents the 11th body. And the 11th spiritual body is vibration. In all of the tantric traditions and the yogic traditions, they talk about the 10 bodies. For years, millions of years, the 10 bodies, but Saratamar brings in the 11th body, which is vibration, which is energy. We are vibration. Before anything existed, the word existed, sound existed. And so she brings in the energy of vibration. We connect with her through chanting, through sound. Her energy is so fast that we may not even see her in a physical form if she appears to us, which happens to me. I see her as light, and I can see her body, but I can't see her face. I can see her hair, but I can't see her face, because it's pure, pure energy. And so, of course, this Christ lineage is very, very connected with the Aquarian age. And I mean, I even receive emails from people who say, I live in Japan. I don't believe in anything. I've never read anything about Christianity, but I'm channeling Mary Magdalene. So this is how powerful her energy is right now, and very connected with the age we are going to, because we are going into an age that is about the soul, understanding our soul. And as we understand our soul and awaken the soul, then what we come to see in the external, which is our human experience, is very aligned with the soul. Finally, the as within, so without, as above, so below, we're going to see that for real. I mean, we're actually going to see that. We're going to be living it. So let me just go through this zodiacal wheel quickly, so you can understand. Like I said, I could spend hours working on this, and there's something that, let me just plug in this. If not, my computer will shut off immediately. Okay, let me just put this in. I could spend lots of time speaking about each one, and because they're so beautiful, all of them, but I'm going to summarize them, so just so we can understand. So we begin the zodiacal wheel with Aries. Okay, and before we went into the age of the ages, go backwards. Our zodiacal wheel goes from Aries to Taurus, etc. But the ages, for example, we're in the age of Aquarius, they're backwards. They deal with the constellations. Okay, so we went from the age of Aries into the age of Pisces, and now we're going Pisces, Aquarius. But for us, as evolution, is the opposite. So we go into the Aries energy. And like I say, I'm summarizing. This is very deep work, but I want you to have a little bit of insight to see which is the archetype that you need to work with. Okay, so Aries is about the between the ages of 0 and 2.5. And Aries is like the just the urge to come out of the birth canal. I want to be here. I want to have a human existence. And so the energy is very fast. But what happens since we have this code of separation that's been um, implanted in us? We separate from the mother, and we start to feel separation. We start to feel duality. So what happens when we're born and this gets activated between 0 and 2.5 years? We don't remember where we came from. That's what the separation does to us. So Aries in the mystical, and I get dizzy when I talk about this, the mystical element of Aries, remembering where we come from so that we can actually pass through the birth canal and express ourselves. So Aries is all about a healthy, competitive nature, to want to do something with our lives, to want to be leaders. When I think of Aries, I think of King Arthur all the time. And he's so noble, and he expresses so much, and he lives his destiny. We between the ages of 0 and 2.5 years, you know what your destiny is. The destiny is encoded in us in that time, even before, of course, with the soul contract, but it's there present. But in those years, we tend to forget, again, separation. We don't understand. We've been disconnected from our source. That's something we need to go back to. When you go into your and do your healing sessions or your drumming or whatever, go back to that moment when you're 0 and 2.5 age, and connect with the remembering where you came from, to remember what your soul contract is. So when we see a lot of people who are Aries, they're fiery. It's fire. It's the first expression of life here. It's amazing. It's the holy sacred fire of our existence. And Aries teaches us that although we come to experience an individual existence, we are still part of the collective. Aries needs to remember we are part of the collective still. And when we get into that portal in springtime in the northern hemisphere, start to remember that you have come here to express your soul contract. And because you've been given that task by the divine, by the mother father, you need to remember that as you are connected with the collective, as you express your soul contract, you're actually contributing to everyone else, to the collective. Beautiful energy. So after that, between the ages of 2.5 and 5, we go into the Taurus energy. And this is the energy of earth. This is when a child goes into the terrible twos, right? The tantrums. And why does that happen? I mean, even though I'm talking about our childhood, this is applicable to us right now. And if you feel that you need any of these energies that I'm talking about, connect with the archetype. Just connect with the archetype. So we go into this earth sign, Taurus, and Taurus is all about the earth. Do I have a healthy atmosphere? Do I have enough food? Do I have a house? Are my parents moving around a lot? Do I have a safe environment? Wow. Is there money in my family? That's a bit, I think that has that awakened something in all of you, what I've just said? Yeah. So all of the thoughts that we get, do I have enough? Can I do this? Oh, can I move into this house? Or all of this fear that we're going through right now with the pandemic, and the government's trying to control. Will I have enough? Taurus deals with money, deals with resources. If that is triggered in us, what happened between the ages of 2.5 and 5? We need to go back to that. And sometimes you really don't need to go back. All you need to do is work on it and heal it. If you heal it now, you can actually heal it in that moment. So Taurus is all about that. And if this rings a bell, write down the archetypes that are actually affecting you as I speak about them. Okay, so you know what are the archetypes that maybe they're all of them. I mean, for me, they were all of them. So, and if they're all of them, that's just that's what we have to work with. So that is the Taurus archetype in the zodiacal wheel. And then we go into Gemini. And Gemini is all about communication, but not just about verbal communication. Gemini is about how we communicate with the world. And Gemini is actually a very strong bridge between uniting the material with the spiritual. Very, very strong bridge, even though we don't know this. Gemini is the mind, is the voice, is sound, is talking. Um, but what happens when the Taurus activation doesn't exist in us, when it's in the shadow? What happens if we feel like we don't have enough? If we didn't have a proper roof, we didn't have a balanced living situation at home? What happens with that? Where our communication tends to stop at some point. Our communication is always wanting to expand. Remember that Gemini is Mercury. Mercury is Hermes. Hermes is Thoth in the Egyptian pantheon, and he is the scribe. And Thoth is believed to be an incarnation of Metatron. This is powerful. Okay. So Gemini learns how to read everything. But usually what happens is we start to talk and read, right? Between the ages of 5 and 7.5. This is when the Gemini energy becomes activated. And this is why a lot of scholars like Rudolf Steiner said that if a child doesn't want to read between the ages of 5 and 7.5, don't force him to read. Children shouldn't really start to read until the age of 7.5. Why? Because when a child starts to read before that age, he forgets. He forgets how to communicate. I mean, some children just are born reading, and that's okay. That's because they bring it. But to enforce it on children, children start to lose the connection with the other dimensions and the fairies and the communication with the other realms. And this is part of Gemini. This is part of Gemini. So when we work with Gemini as a portal, we can ask ourselves, for example, what part of my communication needs work? My verbal communication, of course. Am I expressing myself? Do I feel limited in my expression? Do I allow myself to read the messages that are coming into my life? This is very important because this is our connection with spirit. Remember Gemini as a bridge with the physical and the spiritual. I love that, don't you? Just to think that I think I was taught how to read at the age of 5. I wish we would have known of this before, and I would have learned at 7.5. At least to have a little bit more time to speak with the fairies, right? So after Gemini, we go into Cancer. And Cancer is very important as this first part of evolution. Okay, we've got 12 zodiacal portals. And this is very important. And when we get to Cancer, part of our evolution has to be sealed. And Cancer is the mother. And look, when I say the mother, my Ajna Chakra starts to tremble. So this is important. Nurturing, love. It's not just about the family, okay? Because when we think of Cancer, we think about the family, the house. It's about the mother energy. What was my relationship with my mother? What did I learn from the divine feminine? The first goddess incarnate in my life is my mother. The first relationship we have in our life is our mother. So Cancer deals with the issues of emotional stability. Does my mother love me? Am I being loved enough? Am I worth it? What is my worth? Do I respect myself? Does all that sound familiar? Yeah, right? That's Cancer, the Cancer energy. So when we go into that portal, um, Cancer activates between the ages of 7.5 and 10 years of age. And this is actually the age when we are ready. This is the age we should disconnect automatically from the arc line, the arc of the Madonna of our mother. Okay, we're connected with our mothers through the electromagnetic field, our auras, and through the heart, the arc line. Okay, and what I call the arc of the Madonna. And when we receive the activations of Cancer, we disconnect in a healthy way. We disconnect from her, we become our own being, and we pay homage and devotion to our mother as a representative of the divine feminine, the one who gave us life. Um, but when we don't have this beautiful, strong activation of Cancer, which most of us don't, because we come from mothers who had disease, dis-ease of their own body, of their own feminine nature. So when this doesn't happen, we continue to be connected within the arc line and in the auric field. And when the relationship isn't healed, a lot of the healing that we need to do with the mother doesn't happen. It just continues within us. And although we may have a beautiful relationship with her, there's something there that needs healing. Because at some level, we don't trust that we are okay on our own. We don't trust it. It's very subconscious, this. So that's why it's so important to understand this. So Cancer marks that first phase that of evolution that is really, really important for us. And Cancer is an energy that we always need to work with. Cancer and Capricorn, because they represent the mother and the father. Okay. Now, if this first stage of evolution isn't dealt with, and we can deal with it, we can either deal with it when we get into the portal, or we can deal with it, like say, okay, I don't have this Cancer. This Cancer was not activated within me. I really need to work with this energy. You can start now. Just start now. Anything that has to do with the mother, start now. Or maybe it's Gemini, maybe it's Taurus. Maybe you need to work with your lack and with the ideas of that I don't have enough. Maybe programs concerning money. So you work with that energy. You get me, right? And just remember that when we are in the portal of a certain archetype, we really work hard with that portal. Okay. So if this first level of evolution isn't dealt with, we go into the next one shaky. Okay. Very shaky. And the next four are very, very important because they do deal with how we work with the external world. The first four are all about inside, right? Me. It's important. And the next four, how am I going to deal with the external world? Because when we get to the fifth portal, we've got Leo, which is a fire sign. Leo is the king, the queen. And Leo is about sharing your gifts with the world. But how are you going to share your gifts with the world if you don't feel connected to your mother energy? If you don't feel that I can do it? If we don't feel that we can communicate? If we feel that we don't have enough? You understand me, right? Okay. So Leo gets activated between the ages of 10 and 12 and a half. Okay. But I'm just talking about these activations. And if you have children and they're within those ages, wonderful. If they're all grown up, that's okay. You can still work with it. Okay. So between the ages of 10 and 12 and a half, that's really the time where children, when you think about it, they're almost going into high school or middle school, right? And they start puberty and they're very insecure. That's so, when you think about it. So if you don't have those first four archetypes strong, wow, what are these children going into? They're going into not wanting to be their parents. They're going into rebellion, right? That's why they go into rebellion. They don't have to go into rebellion. When I hear psychologists say, oh, it's normal for children to go into rebellion. Yeah, it's normal when they haven't activated all of these codes. But if they're activated, they won't go into rebellion. So between the ages of 12, 10 and 12 and a half, this awakens a desire to share our creativity, a desire to share who we are. Leo loves to talk. Leo loves to be with people. Leo loves to shine. And that's what Leo shows us. We need to shine. But to be able to shine, the inner work, the mother, all of that energy needs to be dealt with. So Leo is not embarrassed about anything because Leo has a strong connection with the inner child. Leo doesn't care if he's dressed in purple, gold, and pink. They don't care. They are who they are. This is powerful, this Leo energy. So from Leo, we go into the Virgo energy. Ooh. We start to get to this energy where we understand how to share ourselves with the world. We get this, but now we need to create something sacred. We need to create and ground something here on earth. So Virgo is about purity. It's about understanding that to be able to sustain our creativity, our creations, we need to be pure. And when I talk about pure, I'm talking about purity on all levels. The body, Virgo is very connected with the body, taking care of the body, eating well. Remember, Virgo is all about the herbs and the oils and the priestess. Virgo is the priestess archetype. So Virgo starts to say, okay, I really want to sustain this energy, so I need to take care of my body. My body has to be healthy so that I can express who I am. And then Virgo also realizes, wait a minute, I need to create a solid routine and structure so I can share everything with the world. So Virgo is about sacred routines. Virgo is about the decisions you make every single day to be a better person. I think we all need Virgo. Now, when you think about Virgo as a zodiac sign, I'm talking about the portals and the mystical qualities. Virgo as a zodiac sign is all this, but in the shadow, Virgo is difficult, right? Because Virgo is a perfectionist. So Virgo will see anything that's wrong and pinpoint it and never see what is right. But we're not talking about the shadow. Today we're talking about the portals. Virgo is actually an energy that has showed me a lot in my life. I was before I gave birth to my daughter, I was just pure spirit, air, totally air, not grounded. And I loved creativity. I loved dancing. I loved learning. I loved traveling. Everything was crazy. And then I understood Virgo and really committing with a sacred routine, and everything changed in my life. And the little things that you do every day that are very sacred, like if you pray or if you do a meditation or if you chant the same chant every day, that's the Virgo energy. And Virgo energy seals an energy into your life. And that's why I really think that Virgo is very powerful when it comes to abundance, because what you repeat every day in the light will become sealed in your internal and individual matrix. That's a good one. Virgo's a good one. Let me just read without my glasses. How much we need to activate all these codes within. It's so beautiful the way you just put it. Ay, thank you, Marisa. Gracias. And this, like I said, and I'm repeating, when we work with the zodiacal wheel, we work with the mystical and light qualities to learn. The shadow will come up. The shadow is the opposite of what I'm saying. I didn't have a sacred routine before my daughter was born. I was living, I loved what I was doing. I was creative, I was inspirational, but I didn't know how to ground that energy. Maybe some of us here are scared to share our creativity. Does that happen with anyone? Or scared to say, I mean, even maybe this happens with you, Vivek, and with me, it happened at first when we have channelings that we want to express. We're like, should I really express this? Is it crazy if I say this? That's your Leo saying, no, do it. You need to write this. You need to express this. I think all of us, right, have been through that, like saying, wait a minute, can I really get this job? Am I confident enough? That's all Leo energy. So the shadow is what isn't being activated in the light. What is the shadow of Cancer? I don't connect with my inner feminine. I don't give myself the love that I deserve. So that's why this is so important, this awakening. And then when we go to for we go to from Virgo to Libra, and then we've got Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, which is the next stage, this stage, that the middle stage. And Libra is all about the relationships that we have with everyone, with people. Libra is about balance. So, Libra, when we go into this portal, we ask ourselves, am I balancing my yin and my yang? Am I really balancing the inner with the outer? Am I giving myself the time I need to recharge myself so that I can be in the outside world? Is my masculine and my feminine balanced? Are my relationships balanced? What type of relationships do I have? So Libra is very, as well as Taurus, for me is a very, very beautiful Venusian energy, very connected with Venus, with Aphrodite, especially Aphrodite Urania, which is a spiritual quality of Aphrodite, the spiritual beauty of wanting to express God. So Libra really shows us in the mystical qualities, am I being in devotion to all of my relationships? At the end of the day, that's very hard to be in devotion. And the only way we can be in devotion in relationship is if we are in devotion to ourselves. And that's what it is. That's what Libra teaches us, balance. Even devotion to your work, to what you do, that's a relationship. Your work is a relationship. The work that each and every one of us that we do is a relationship. So am I in devotion to that? And if I'm not, something's wrong. It's time to change something. So that's all the Libra energy. And Libra is about justice always. It's about understanding how the law works. Because when we get to Libra, we start to understand that everything has a shadow and a light. And Libra tames in a good way the rebel within us, because the rebel within us gets mad at authority, doesn't want authority. But Libra says, wait a minute, what type of authority is sacred? Maybe a sacred leadership authority. So this is all the Libra energy. And just remember that when we work with Libra, we need to understand, how am I seeing myself through a relationship? How is my karma being manifested in a relationship? Very important. Then we go into Scorpio. And Scorpio takes all of this from that middle level and brings it deep down into the underworld. Scorpio is governed by Pluto. Pluto is Hades, and Hades is the underworld, is death. So when we get to Scorpio, we know that we're going to go into the last stage of evolution in this portal. All of these stages are important. None of them are more important than the other. All of them work together. So we know that we're going into something quite spiritual, because Scorpio says you need to die. You need to get rid of everything that isn't your true nature, your true soul. The programs, the inner patriarchy, the outer patriarchy, your fears. You need to die. There's something that needs to die. And I'm not saying that all of this has to happen at once. Sometimes our deaths, because we just came out of Scorpio, and Scorpio was very powerful this year. I mean, even I, a lot of people that I know, even a dear friend of mine passed away in a Scorpio, and within 3 weeks, and she was given a disease, a cancer, and it was just too late. She had no idea. She wasn't feeling well, but she never liked to go to doctors. And I mean, Scorpio was a powerful this in this portal. And so Scorpio says, what needs to die in you? Maybe it's arrogance, maybe it's ego. One stage of ego, because ego always likes to test ourselves and comes back. A relationship, a fear, something that we didn't heal in the past. What needs to die? And that's Scorpio. And Scorpio will take you to that death, because if you don't die with Scorpio, that which needs to die will reveal itself a lot stronger. Okay, so Scorpio is very, very powerful. And that's why the Scorpio energy is necessary. Well, Scorpio is about death and resurrection. It's really beautiful as well. So when we leave this little portal, this stage of evolution, we go into the third one, and here we go. We tap into destiny, destiny. And so the first one we see is Sagittarius. And remember, I know that Sagittarius in the shadow, when we see in people, can be a dictator. A lot of dictators on earth throughout history have been Sagittarius, because in the shadow, dictators, because of true Sag is a teacher. So what happens in Sagittarius, and this is our portal right now, so pay close attention so that we work with this, all of us. All of the lessons that we learned with dying in Scorpio need to be integrated in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the teacher. Sagittarius looks for the truth. Through Sagittarius, you will find your path, your true path. You will question, am I a Catholic? Am I a Muslim? You will question yourself. Is this my true path? And if it is, great. If it's not, or am I connected with the Christ lineage? Or do I want to work with the tantric lineage? At the end of the day, you will understand what your path is, your true values. This is Sagittarius, because we become the teacher. And to be a teacher, we need to understand why we believe in certain things. There's all what Scorpio says, you believe in that? Okay, I'm going to bring you something to test you, to see if you really believe in that. That's Scorpio. But Sagittarius will say, wait a minute, what was the lesson that I just learned? So for example, we just came out of the Scorpio portal, and I learned a lot of lessons through a lot of people that passed away that I know that were very dear to me. First, to take care, we need to take care of ourselves, our bodies, don't we? And that was a big lesson that I learned. Even though I'm very connected with taking care of myself, I saw this in these people. But also a lot of the fears that came out, or the things in us that when we went really deep with Scorpio, what died in us? All of you know that some part of you went deep in the underworld, right? So that is what you're integrating with Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the teacher. Sagittarius loves to study. So right now, I'm sure you're going, look, oh, you're here. This is an example of Sagittarius. We want to learn. Sagittarius, the first thing that a Sag says is, how can I learn more? I want to learn. And then how can I integrate this? So we're moving forward, and we're moving forward to an understanding of how to integrate all of the lessons in our life. They're all part of our experience. So when we move from Sagittarius, we go into Capricorn. And here we need to put a little star in Capricorn as well. Capricorn is the father. So anytime Capricorn comes, Capricorn deals with your purpose, your life purpose, and your destiny. And Capricorn is very disciplined, and Capricorn wants to leave a legacy, wants to leave behind that legacy. And a legacy is living your destiny. Doesn't have to be something big. So many people have left legacies behind that we don't know about. We don't need to read about them in a history book. There's so many of them. And a lot of people from our ancestors as well have left legacies behind. So Capricorn, when we come to Capricorn, there's a healing to be done with the father energy. And the father energy deals with how much you believe in yourself to have success in what you do. That's beautiful, isn't it? That's the push. And I always feel that with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, how Yeshua pushed her to believe in herself and to be the feminine Christ, to be the woman, the teacher in that time that was so patriarchal. And when I see her leaving behind Palestine and going on a boat and traveling to France to begin her ministry, I even start to shake. In those times, that was very hard. I mean, that was very hard for a woman to do. And she had that push from Yeshua, you can do it. Believe in yourself. I'm leaving you, the Christ school. So get your act together. That's Capricorn. With Capricorn, we're like, wait a minute, I really need to get my act together and I need to live my destiny, live my purpose, my life purpose. So that's a very important one. And we've been purifying Capricorn all of this 2020 in the shadow, because Capricorn in the shadow is control and to be rigid and to be patriarchal, right? That's what we've been healing in 2020. But the purity, we need all of these zodiacal signs. None of them are bad. All of them are good, but they all have a duality, just like we do. So we need Capricorn, but in the light. And now Capricorn working with Aquarius is going to be beautiful. Capricorn and Aquarius work really well together. They don't get along. That's why they work well together. Because where Capricorn says, this needs to be like this, Aquarius will bring Capricorn and say, wait, let's try something new. Let's try something new. So remember that beautiful Capricorn energy. Then we come into Aquarius. Wow. And every time you hear the word Aquarius, remember that this is our new age. This is the age that we're in. And Uranus is the governs the planet. I mean, the archetype of Aquarius. And Uranus is intergalactic communication. It's like understanding your galactic origin, is talking to Lemuria, talking to going back to your Atlantean codes. That is all of Uranus. Uranus is the cosmic serpent. Uranus is the Kundalini, the serpent energy being activated in humanity. Very, very strong energy. And so that's Aquarius. Aquarius is about innovation. And I'm going to talk about the mystical qualities, but I do want to talk about the shadow qualities because this is our age. Aquarius is the water bearer, that through the jug, it's not really the water, it's the vehicle through which water passes. And the water symbolizes spirit, symbolizes energy, symbolizes the light beings. So Aquarius activates the water bearer within us, activates the vehicle that receives divine spirit and channeling. All of you are receiving this inspiration right now. It's just part of what we're going into. Okay, so this is Aquarius. And Aquarius dissolves into the collective, into humanity, whereas Pisces dissolves into God, into oneness. Now, I want to just talk a little bit about the shadow of Aquarius because we are in this age right now. Aquarius does have a shadow, a strong one. And we're in it right now. We're not in the shadow of Pisces. We're actually in the shadow of Aquarius, the control of the government. Everyone needs to wear a mask. Everyone needs to do this. Because whereas the shadow of Pisces would be the right-wing extreme governments, the shadow of Aquarius is communism. And at the end of the day, what is social media doing to us right now? They actually know what you want. They're actually putting in what you need to know. And we're seeing this, everyone needs to be transgender. If everyone needs to be this way, everyone needs to think this way. Everyone needs to respect how we think. We don't have to think alike. And that's the beauty of Leo, which is the polarity of Aquarius. Leo reminds us that you are your own thinker and your own creator, even though you are part of the collective. And so this is what we need to unite a little bit with Aquarius. We need to, because Aquarius wants to dissolve in the collective. And as we dissolve in the collective, the individual disappears, right? Wow. So that's a big shadow of Aquarius, even though I love the sign. I think it's amazing the downloads that we're getting right now in Aquarius. Yeah, I like Aquarius, but I do see the shadow of it. And ever since we started with this whole pandemic, which the spread of the virus is Pisces, because Pisces spreads, That's what Pisces does. That when we say something has gone viral, that's Pisces. Okay. Um, but Aquarius, what Aquarius does is want to control in a way that it seems that you're not being controlled because I'm cool. I'm an innovator. I think differently. So we wouldn't think that that type of energy would want to control, right? We think of a person who controls as that patriarchal Capricorn, Saturn leader, right? Not an Aquarian leader. So we need to be careful with that. We need to always understand that as I dissolve into the collective, which I want to, Aquarius wants to believe in humanity, humanitarianism. That's what Aquarius wants to do. We want to be humanitarian. And we can actually think about this when we go into this Aquarian portal after Capricorn. How can I help people? How can I help people? What do people need right now? And this is Aquarius. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. Um, but of course, I wanted to talk about the shadow, just that we knew what the shadow was as well. Aquarius can be rigid as well, okay? Not just Capricorn. So when we go into the Aquarian portal and you want to work with Aquarius in the light, think about, how can I innovate my life? What needs innovation? What needs innovation? All our Your relationship may need something new. Maybe you need a new computer for your work. Maybe you need to innovate your home. It's all about what needs something new, because if not, everything becomes stagnant, it becomes the same. I read this beautiful poem that this lovely soul called Matthew put on Facebook today, and it was by Pablo Neruda, this Chilean poet that I really, really love. And it says that we're always dying, but there's two different types of deaths. And if we don't change the color, or we don't change certain things in our life, we die as well. So the Aquarius is about this innovation, and Aquarius is about thinking differently. You don't have to think the way you have always thought. You don't have to think that you need to do things this way. Why don't you do things differently? That's Aquarius. And also, of course, being the water bearer, being the vehicle to receive divine spirit. And I think that that's awakening a lot right now. And Sarah Tamar is very connected with the Aquarius energy, and Mary Mann is very connected with the Virgo energy, that sacred energy. Yeah, and Yeshua is Pisces, of course. And then we go into Pisces, which is the last portal, the last code archetype. So Pisces represents death and rebirth, but not like Scorpio. Scorpio is the death of the old to be reborn. Pisces is the death of not knowing that we are spirit. Pisces understands that we are pure spirit. And Pisces wants to dissolve into oneness, always with the Mother Father, always with the divine. Pisces is compassion and forgiveness. Pisces is Yeshua, beautiful Yeshua, being compassionate, forgiving. Pisces are the cosmic waters of the womb of the mother. We're interconnected with everything, with God, with the planet. Everything is so. When we are living in separation, we are sad, and that's why the Piscean age, as we explore the shadow quality, because we didn't allow the polarity of Pisces is Virgo, and Pisces didn't allow Virgo to come in, the Virgin. In some cases, yes, in religion, and some, but the Virgin energy, the beautiful divine feminine energy to come in, and that's what happened. But Pisces is a beautiful, beautiful energy. Where I hear all the time, "Oh, we're going out of this horrible Piscean age." No, thanks to the Piscean age, we developed a relationship with God. It may not have been an ideal one, right? Yeshua began the Piscean age. So we did the Christianity began in the Piscean age, and Christianity broke with a lot of the old religions. With Christianity came, excuse me, one man, one woman. That's Yeshua. Yeshua was a feminist, a strong feminist. He said, "No, I'm not going to be with 12 women. I want I want to be in divine union with my partner. And the gospel, the Gnostic gospel of Philip says that Yeshua said, Mary Magdalene was my mother, my sister, my lover, my friend. That's what he wanted in a partner. He didn't want 20 women. He wanted a partner, a divine partner, a polarity. So think, and this is something that I'm going to, you can maybe reflect on this in the next few days. What are those beautiful qualities of Pisces that we want to bring in into this new Aquarian age to keep it balanced and healthy? They're beautiful qualities. And I think this is one of them, to want to merge with the divine. Like I said, maybe we didn't know how. And patriarchy was already in the picture, okay? Not in the Piscean age before. So patriarchy says, no, you're going to connect with God through rules and knowing that you are a sinner and separating the body with spirit, because the shadow of Pisces is separation. And that's why humanity has gone into depression. That's why we feel the sadness and we feel the longing to belong, right? That's Pisces. And that's the lesson. And this is something that we can integrate even before the 21st of December, when we do go officially into this Aquarian age, and start to integrate what parts of me want to live in unity again. What parts of me in separation need to be healed? Beautiful energy, right? I really like Pisces, okay? I love all the signs, but every time you talk about one, you love that one the most, but you love all of them really because they're like children. And when you learn to um, work with these. So, how do we work with this zodiacal wheel? I'm going to just explain it one more time. If anything that I've said has resonated within you that you feel that you need to practice, or maybe it's everything, okay? But if there's something there, connect with that archetype. And if not, just align with the portal. Right now we're aligning with the portal, and we're aligning with Sagittarius. And for all of you who signed up for this little workshop, I'm going to send you a little PDF with just a few insights that you can work with during this Sagittarius portal. Just a few tips that you can use to work with Sagittarius, this beautiful fire sign, because remember that the fire that Sagittarius holds isn't the fire of Leo, and it's not the fire of Aries. The fire of Aries is the first spark of life. The fire of Leo is the fire of creation, my creation that I'm sharing. Look at my fire. Ah, it's beautiful. But the fire of Sagittarius is the fire of knowledge and the fire of truth and the fire of being a teacher, that holy, sacred fire. So what am I good at, and what can I become better at? As a question for Sagittarius. What am I good at? How can I be a teacher in everything that I do? And I really love the word teacher, because teacher has the verb teach. So when you are a teacher, you teach. What can you teach yourself? What can you teach yourself? And how can you be a better teacher of everything that you know how to do already? That's Sagittarius. Become a better version of it. And also, what is your path? What are your values? Why do I believe in the things that I believe in? Why do I choose this? So you may find yourself questioning as well, in a good way. You won't die because you've done that with Scorpio, but you may find yourself saying, I believe in this, and I want to continue on this path. This is my path, or this is my devotion. This is my belief. But now you know why you believe in it. I tell this story a lot. When I was raised very, very Catholic, and I love all religions. I really do. I had the opportunity to live in the Middle East for 9 years. I believe in the beauty of all religion when you take away the patriarchal aspect of it. I do. And I remember that I had my confirmation when I was 14, and that's when you actually commit to this path. And I kept saying to myself when I was older and devoted myself to the divine feminine, how could I have taken that vow at such a young age? if I didn't even know? And I had to do ritual to break that vow. I actually had to create a ritual to break that vow and say, no, I've committed myself to a path, but I need to understand what I'm actually committing myself to. So that's Sagittarius. That's definitely Sagittarius energy. Now I know I've been talking a lot. Do you have any questions? Do you want to say anything? Because I do want to do some chanting, beautiful chant with you. Has this helped you a little bit? Do you have any insight? Oh, the rising sign. I'll explain this briefly, and maybe we can do some stuff in the future with all this as well. You've got your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, and these are the three what I call base positions of your zodiac sign. Okay, they're your foundation. Okay, so your moon sign is your soul, is your inner work, is what your soul needs. And if you don't give your soul what it needs, you cannot be your sun sign. Okay, we are usually our sun sign for the most part of our life in the shadow. Okay, and when we start to understand that the luminaries, which are the sun and the moon working together, they need to work together. Through your moon sign, you can even understand everything that you know already, your past lives even. And those are the needs of your soul. So it's all about your soul. So the moon feeds the sun. Okay, feeds the sun so the sun can actually shine. It's funny because the moon doesn't reflect its own light, but anyway, that's how it is. So we learn to be solar through the moon, through the mother, and that's true. We learn to be who we are, we learn to express our personality through the soul, not through the ego, through the mother, through the inner work. Now your rising sign deals with the tools that you have been given to understand how to work as a human in this earth. For example, we are not from here. Remember that. We are spirit having a human experience, but we chose this human experience. So before we come, we choose tools to understand how to move about. Just to give you an example, I'm a rising Capricorn. So I need a lot of structure in my life. I need a lot of discipline in my life to get things done. And it's not because I'm rigid. I'm not rigid. It's because I understand the world this way. My spirit in a human form understands how to be here through that sign. Okay, so for example, if you're rising Libra, you need harmony. You need harmony. You need beauty. You need good relationships. Yes or no, Paiviki? You need that. That's how you understand how to move in this planet. That's what you chose. So I call the rising sign, I'm trying to translate it in Spanish. I call it almost the gifts that we have been given to be human. It's not easy to be here, right? It's not easy. We chose something. I mean, I think we're amazing warriors. We chose something quite powerful, not for to learn and to not just ourselves, but to be together. So, for example, just another example, if you are a rising Aquarius, you understand the world through technology, probably through innovation, through thinking different. That's how you can move in the world. If you don't have that, you don't know how to. So if you have not experienced your rising sign yet, and a lot of us don't until we are about the age 30, 35, experience the rising sign, because the rising sign will help you communicate yourself and move within this world. Did I help you, Paiviki? Yeah? Okay. If we go into, for example, Sagittarius would be, let's see, 30 is Aquarius, so 27 and a half is, no, 30 is Pisces, 27 and a half is Aquarius, 25 is Capricorn, 22 and a half, Carly. At 22 and a half. I hope I did. I answered your question. Right now, everything makes sense for me. Carolina says, "Thank you, Anna, for sharing this wisdom." Thank you. I was born on December 22nd. Wow, and this year will be strong. Oh yeah, I can feel it too. Right after the Grand Conjunction. Amazing. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. I love having you. I'm seeing so much of you lately. I love bonding with you. Beautiful. Do you have any other questions? I know it's a lot of information, but does this help you a little bit with what we're going through and the changes of how we can start working with the air element through astrology, which is the element of our age right now? We're going into the air. We're leaving the water. I'm gonna miss the water. We're going into air. Air is fast. Remember, everything healing will be fast. The new codes will be fast. Apparitions will be fast. Everything. So we need to understand this. Our healing will be so much faster. Oh, thank you, Pai Vicky. I'm just so glad that all of you could be here. Uh, why don't we chant? Can we chant the Lord's Aramaic prayer together? Even if you don't know it, I'll play it. And this is a beautiful chant. It's actually a very powerful code. I'm going to tell you a little secret that I received. Um, Powerful secret because I chant the Avun the Vishmeya, and in a channeling the other day, I received that the powerful codes for this new earth are contained in this mantra and this prayer. And I believe it because just as Lemuria left the codes for us and other civilizations within the rocks and the stones that we're receiving now, isn't everyone more interested now in stones? Yes or no? Yeah. Because they knew when they would be activating they took, of course they went into the earth and to the crystals and activated all these codes, and they're awakening now. I mean, I put them in my bra. I think I have 2 crystals within my bra right now because I like to feel them all day sometimes. That's the way it works. So the Abunda Vishmaya, I feel it's a very, very powerful mantra for us, and that we should be practicing it and maybe chanting it a little bit every day. I'm going to put the words up here, okay? I hope I have them. Yes, I do. Can you see this? It's the long one here, not the short one. And remember that if you came in a little bit late, because I know that some of you came in a little bit late, I will be uploading the video. And if all of you want to take notes as well, you can see the video again. And I'll share a little wheel, a visual wheel of the signs that you can even write things in. I think that makes it easier, but I didn't want you writing today. As I spoke, I wanted you to listen because sometimes it's important just to feel the information at first. So let's chant the Avun Devashmaya. Avun Devashmaya. And allow this prayer to be activated within your cells, in your body, your blood, your energy, your emptiness. And exhale. And just putting our hands on our heart center again. Breathing slowly, integrating all of this information, and allowing that question that we asked ourselves in the beginning to be revealed. Why am I here? Why am I drawn to this information? What did I need to learn today? What do I need to find out about myself? And remembering that your soul wants to express herself through your actions, your manifestations, your body, your experiences, and allowing ourselves to be open and receptive and empty so that the soul can speak to us, communicate with us. And we give thanks to everyone here united, to everyone listening to this gathering, everyone coming together. And we ask the Mother Father to teach us and to show us how to find our way back to destiny, to our soul contract, and to love. Amen. Thank you, all of you, for being here, for taking your time. And I think I have a little message here. Oh, thank you, Celia. We'll be doing very soon in Gracias a ti, Adriana. And like I said, I'm very proud of my Spanish community who are listening to this in English. I did this in Spanish about a year and a half ago, but now you have it in English. So thank you. I'm going to pull out some cards, and we will be doing very soon a rosary again, a Mary Magdalene rosary chanting. And these are bilingual in Spanish and in English, and they're absolutely beautiful, aren't they, by Vicky? You were here with the rosary, I think. I can't remember, but that was so powerful that I had the strongest Kundalini awakening. That the whole day I felt my crown chakra just open, open, open. I just, it was hard for me to come down. A lot of healing, but we pray the rosary with the Aramaic prayers, the original one. So this is very powerful. Oh, thank you, Melissa. And I love to have you here, Melissa. I'm going to take out some cards, okay? And let's see if we have any messages. I'm going to use these beautiful cards that Krishna Rose gave me. And let's see. Wow, that's a nice one. Okay, so I took out 3 cards, but in one, 2 came out. Wow, the blue flame. And it says spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Sagittarius integration. And the blue flame is very powerful because blue is the color connected with Aquarius. I connect that color a lot with Yeshua, and and with Saratama, it's a very healing, very, very healing. Oh, thank you, Emer. And the second one was the golden children, the inner child, innocence, and connecting with our gifts. Look at this. And the solar path. Wow. Sorry. And the last one were two. And the first one is portal. The doors are opening. You decide. And called soul gifts and training. It's time to set up. So as the doors are opening, let's bring in our soul gifts into this new portal, right? Powerful. Thank you, Carly. I'm so glad that all of you could come here. And I think I burned too much sage, but thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. And I send you a very warm, warm embrace. It's always beautiful to connect in circle and community. And I feel privileged after doing the Shabbat on Friday to seeing some faces that were in the Shabbat on Friday here as well. So, yeah, I think we're very privileged to have technology, Aquarius, to be able to be in sacred circle and such powerful, uh, beautiful, but very powerful times right now, this transition. So thank you, ahava, and blessings to all of you. Bye bye. Thank you.